Good afternoon from the Alton Towers Resort, where it's June 2026 and I'm going to make my way into the park and bring you all of the latest updates. It's just been May half term and the park's been really busy, open until 8 o'clock for Twilight at the Towers. Did have a couple of visits over the weekend when we got back from our trip to Norway and Finland, and I've got to say the atmosphere was fantastic, the operations and availability at the park was also really good, which is very promising to see as we make our way up to, of course, a much busier part of the season. School trips are just around the corner in the next few weeks, so the park will be getting very busy with all the school trips coming and then into the main school holidays themselves. So yeah, this kind of next couple of weeks is still like the last kind of off-peak time here at Alton Towers until, of course, September after the summer. So yeah, it's a Monday today when I'm filming this. Park is really quiet, and yeah, we're going to start off on the monorail, which has had some really exciting changes. Finally, they've actually took the vinyls off the windows for the first time in over 15 years. I can't believe it. We've all been asking for quite some time for them to do it, and they've actually done it, which is fantastic. So it means we're going to get some awesome views as we're making our way now into the theme park. How nice is this to see? The vinyls all removed. So yeah, back in 2008, they did a refurbishment of the monorail here at Alton Towers, and during that period, they actually put like all this vinyl wrap, not just on the windows, but on the monorails themselves. But what they've actually done is kept like the themed trains, but then actually took the vinyls off the windows. So now we get some much better views, which is fantastic to see. So yeah, we're going to, yeah, love this. We're making our way now into the theme park. It's going to be fantastic. It feels quite surreal stepping onto the monorail for the first time since 2008 and actually being able to see out the windows again. I was a big fan of what they did with theming the trains up. However, I was never a fan of them blocking the windows in. So yeah, we've got the best of both worlds now. Kept the themed trains, but then also we're going to get to see out as well, which is fantastic. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, getting some awesome views as we're making our way into the park. And here we go, we're on the Mutiny Bay pirate themed train, making our way down to the theme park. And this just feels so surreal. Look at this, we can see out again. I know to some people this might seem like a minor thing, but when you've not been able to see out the windows for so long, just to have them views again and looking into the park, you've got to think last time we had that view, it was air, wasn't it? Not Galactica. And of course, old Nemesis. Wow, look at this. Beautiful, isn't it? And if you get the timing as well with the train coming down onto the corkscrew, oh, like that. Beautiful. Now, in an ideal world, it could do with all the windows replacing, really, because they are a little bit dirty. However, you can see out a lot clearer now than you could do before. What a huge improvement. There's the monorail maintenance area, and you can see it looks like all the trains have been done now. So yeah, they started with one or two of them, and then they've just done them all over the past couple of weeks, which is just fantastic to see. Massive improvement. And the improvements just keep on coming. Oh, look at what manner from on the monorail now. Obviously, last time we saw that view, it was dual. Crazy, isn't it? Just how much has changed in the time where we couldn't really see out the windows. Yeah, lots of improvements. We're going to head down to the Congo River Rapids today. That has reopened for the season, but also they've added some new theming and quite a bit of it as well, which is really good to see. This is just brilliant after so long. You know, I think last time it was like this, I was like 15, 16 years old, so wow, crazy. And yeah, I'm excited to see this view looking down Tower Street now, because this was always one of my favourite parts of the monorail at Alton Towers, looking down Tower Street. So we're going to get that view in just a second. Looks like they're running 3 trains this afternoon. There's one just pulled in behind us. I reckon one's just coming out of the station down here. And then of course I'm on this one. Yeah, it looks like the celebration train's just coming out. Hey, there we go, we'll be able to wave at people in there. Not like there's anybody leaving now, but still, you know, later in the day. This view is going to be good. I don't think there's any better way than building you up for your experience in the park by seeing out the monorail windows. Big update. Look at that. It's back. Oh, love it. That is a real nice sight to see. But yeah, it does really feel like these past few weeks there's been so many changes, like effects have returned that have been missing for a long time. Obviously these vinyls have been removed, there's been new theming at the Rapids, operations and reliability have been really good over May half term. Yes, it's been busy, there's been some big queues, but the actual operations and ride availability has been fantastic. So it feels like there's been a sudden change, and obviously we know there's been a lot of management changes at Alton Towers over winter and going into 2026. And in my opinion, whatever they've done seems pretty positive, because the park's been running the best I've seen it in a few years this year. That's it, the monorail, it's back. And we can see out again. Look at that, it just makes such a difference seeing the monorails come by and actually seeing the people inside. Another train just came across Tower Street over here and it was really nice just seeing everybody looking out at the plaza and the entrance to the park. And yeah, I have made a bit of a mistake myself today. It's just started raining and I've not brought my coat. I was only lived 10 minutes away and looked out the window and thought, oh, the sun's shining. It's not supposed to rain till about 3 o'clock. I should be all right. But yeah, I think I've made a bit of a mistake not bringing my coat looking at these clouds. I tell you what though, Corkscrew is looking fantastic, isn't it? They've just got to make sure they're keeping on top of it, you know, with it being bright yellow now. It's going to take some upkeep. There's the celebration train coming over there as well. Fantastic to see. But yeah, let's go make our way into the park. Hopefully it'll just be a passing shower. The weather changes so much in Staffordshire, especially up here at Alton Towers, because we're up on a hill as well. Yeah, it does change a lot. And there's a look down at Tower Street. Yeah, no decorations, no bunting, just standard Tower Street. And I actually really like seeing it like this. Obviously, since Bluey opened back at the end of March, there was like Bluey decorations. Then we went into Twilight at the Towers throughout May half term. So there was a little bit of theming out for that as well. But yeah, well, that's packed up now into these off-peak times before the school trip season. And yeah, this is actually a really good time to come, because normally you get the weather. I mean, I still got my shorts on today. You get the weather, then also you get the low crowds as well, especially if you're coming on these weekdays. But yeah, it was fantastic to see the park going for 8 o'clock closes throughout May half term. In all the years been coming to Alton Towers, they have never done 8 o'clocks before in May. So a real positive, credit where credit's due. And it was staying busy. I didn't have a chance to get any footage over the event, because obviously we were away in Norway and Finland. Check out them vlogs if you haven't already. But yeah, we came back just before the weekend. We had some friends come over from America, so we brought them up and just had a couple of days off camera over the weekend. We do that quite a bit actually. I haven't always got the camera on me at Alton Towers. But yeah, that was nice, just kind of having, you know, a stroll round, and it was busy through until 8 o'clock. You know, it did really well. And yeah, there wasn't really loads going on extra for it. They had a couple of roaming characters on Fountain Square and the extra food booths. I did put a post about them on social media and they were really nice. I think they're going to be all gone now, but hopefully they might be back for the summer if they were a success, which I think they were, like the cargo food units. The Alton Towers wildlife. Brilliant. It's just nice to have a lot more positive things to say again about Alton Towers, because things have been bleak the past few years. I've got to say, operationally and ride availability, things have been the best over the past few weeks that I've seen in a good few years, probably since maybe 2022, 2023, which is fantastic. Like, you know, opening up the app on a morning, I'm always having a look, no matter where we are around the world, just seeing what ride availability is like on a morning, seeing what's open, what's closed, and the past few weeks has been fantastic. Of course, not only have we had a new director here at Alton Towers, but also there's a new tech services director, lots of other management changes that have gone on behind the scenes, and whatever they've done, it's been working, because we've certainly seen a lot of improvements. And I just want to say, you know, there's been a lot of negativity about Alton Towers, and of course I filmed my video over winter, which has had nearly 500,000 views now, which is crazy, called The Sad Decline of Alton Towers. And you know, it was a real kind of upsetting video for me to film, going into all the ins and outs of, you know, what the park's done wrong over the years and changes what need to be made. But actually, it just feels like, you know, since that video's come out, there's been like an attitude change here at Alton Towers, and I don't know if it's related to that or not. Obviously, I know a lot of the management do watch the videos, but there's clearly been an attitude change, and that's really positive to see, because not only have we had these vinyls removed on the monorail, the corkscrew was repaid at the start of the year, operations are better, we're also seeing things like new bits of theming that have arrived down at the Rapids, and effects making a return as well. So we're going to head down to X Sector. Let's have a look at this first. Oh, look at the little baby ducks. It's the setting of Alton Towers that's always made it so special as well. Hello. Oh, all the wildlife. the roller coasters, and of course the stately home Alton Towers itself. And yeah, if you are coming throughout June, it's actually one of the best times to enjoy the grounds themselves. Like, they're always looking the best towards the end of May into June. All the little pink flowers, you'll notice them all around the front here of the towers. Like the big bushes just over there out the front of the banqueting hall. And down in the gardens as well. I know you don't always get the chance to have a stroll through the gardens, especially on a 10-4, you know, a 6-hour day. But throughout Alton After Dark, you know, when the park was open for 10 hours, from 10 AM through until 8 o'clock, you had that extra time just to go down and have a walk through the gardens, you know, which was really nice. When we had friends come over from the States, it was nice to take them around there and have a bit of a stroll all around that area. But yeah, look at this. These flowers only stay out for a few weeks. It always looks really pretty at this time of the year. Always feels like the calm before the storm of the school trip season. If you are coming Monday to Friday from like the end of June throughout July, then yeah, expect lots of school trips. It's actually quieter coming on a weekend during that period if you can do. Yeah, we're looking pretty quiet today. I think the biggest queue is 20 minutes from what I saw. So if you come in the next couple of weeks, you should be okay. But as you get towards the middle of June, yeah, your school trip season's going to be really picking up. Lost a smiler on, 15 minutes down here today. Well, the updates that I wanted to show you down here in X Sector are nothing to do with the Smiler. They are to do with Oblivion, the 1998 dive coaster. Because what they've actually done is, not only a few weeks ago did they bring back the Don't Look Down, there's a couple of speakers up there, I mentioned that in our full park vlog that we did back in May. They've also put in some new screens in the queue line, and yeah, done some like kind of instructions before you ride, which is nice. That all kind of helps with the throughput. We see these added on a few other rides over the past couple of years, but yeah, they've brought them to Oblivion now, and they're quite cool, so I thought we'd just go and have a little look at these.
It's 4.5 G. This is not drastic enough to experience the thing.
And of course, something else they brought back a few weeks ago is Welcome to Eternal Darkness. That's been missing since 2015, so it's nice to have that back. But yeah, let's go and have a look at these new screens and the little pre-boarding video for Oblivion. I've always liked the backstory of Oblivion with the Lord of Darkness, and it's been so nice to see these little bits come back. There we go. We've got these screens just down here now, so they've added 4 screens. And yeah, they've done a really good job with the kind of pre-boarding video here. Of course, always secure your loose articles. How nice is the animation? I thought I've got to start off this update and show you this. POV footage. Each row has 8 riders. Remember, all ride positions offer a front seat view, as per the announcement. But little improvements like this go a long way to helping guests be ready to board the ride. Yeah, how nice is this though? There you go, Oblivion Archives. Old footage there from the old Magic Factory documentary. I love little things like this. There he is, the Lord of Darkness. So yeah, again, it might seem like a small thing to some people, but it's improvements like this that go a long way in my opinion. So yeah, really happy to see that they've done this. Always great to get back on Oblivion. It's an excellent dive coaster, and I still think it's got the best drop out of any dive coaster I've done. It is brilliant. Now, I did film a video a few weeks ago talking about plans that Alton Towers have got for a new building down here at the bottom of X Sector. Quite a large building that is going to be for a walk-through attraction. Of course, we're expecting that to be a new scare maze, but still no confirmation that it will be that yet. That is just going off the plans themselves, where it does say a walk-through attraction. Yeah, this is the one thing that I really can't get behind at the moment, especially the location of it. Ideally, instead of the building going literally right here and blocking room for 2 flat rides, should have just gone down there in the bottom corner, or as I mentioned in that video that I did, they should have just used the arcade that's already standing up at the top, in my opinion. Would have saved them money on having to build a building then as well. Yeah, they could have relocated part of the arcade into the old Oblivion shop, and then yeah, used X site as it's called as the scare maze location. Yeah, you can just see that there at the back. But still, yeah, that's one thing at the moment that I am a bit unsure on. but I guess we'll see what happens. Maybe there's more to it than the letting on. So we've left X sector behind now. I'm going to head down towards Dark Forest for the next update that I want to talk about, and this is a really surprising one, but again I'm glad to see it's happened. A shop has finally returned to Dark Forest for the first time since 2015. Now both Rita and 13 used to have shops, however, yeah, since 2015 they were both closed. Finally they've reopened the 13 shop, I can't believe it. It's only been a few weeks since I filmed my annual shops and merchandise tour on the channel, and in that video, as I have done every year for the past few years, I've mentioned that there's no shop down in this part of the park. You've only got the one, which is in the World of David Walliams at the back. So yeah, there was nowhere to just kind of buy, you know, merchandise and stuff for Dark Forest without going all the way back to Towers Trading. So yeah, it's nice to see that this has come back. And this was also a nice, easy one for them to reopen because it's a shipping container. It's been there since 2010 when 13 opened, and of course it became Dark Forest from Ugland and Thunder Rock Rally. And yeah, you know, for that number of years, there was the shop at the exit to 13, just a shipping container with merchandise inside, drinks, snacks, that sort of thing. And yeah, it's great to see this back open. Now it was still there over the past, well, over 10 years. I believe it was used for storage by the distribution centre at one point, and then now it's back functioning as a shop again. So let's go down and have a look. 10-minute wait for 13 this afternoon, and the same for Rita as well, on a 10-4 close. And look at this, here it is, it's open. So yeah, since 2015 you've been exiting 13 through that gate off to the right hand side. Yeah, that's now been closed off. And this is it, 13 shop, back open. Can't believe it, so yeah, they took the signage down, still kept like all the roots and everything growing up as part of the theme. Yeah, it's now back open. So you've got ice creams in here, you can get your 13 and Rita merchandise as well. You've got the music playing in here as well, it just feels surreal. There you go, so you exit the ride down this way and into the shop. So yeah, before you had to go down to Towers Trading to get all these bits, so really nice that this is open. Got your Hex resins in here as well. Fantastic. 13 hoodies down there as well. That design's been exactly the same since 2010, I love it. That classic, this 13 hoodie, I used to have that one. Some of my old photos, I used to wear that. And then you've got the Rita section over here as well. So yeah, a mix between Rita and 13 merch. Obviously Rita used to have its own shop back in the day, which is where like the photo and refill area is now. There you go, it's back. Another great improvement. Dare I say it, but it feels like Alton Towers is healing for the first time at least since 2015, over a decade. We're starting to see things come back, effects that have been missing, sound that's been missing, and yeah, all these little things happening makes a huge difference. And in terms of like the Oblivion audio, that had been missing for over 20 years up there on the drop. The vinyls on the monorail, over 15 years, all these things that I remember, like and growing up coming to Alton Towers with, are starting to come back. Like next thing, we'll be seeing loads of new flat rides come in. Fingers crossed. Now, I did just want to share an update on the Sky Ride. Originally, this was going to be opening in May. They had it there on the website, on the availability page. Unfortunately, they didn't meet the May deadline that they'd hoped for, which is a shame. However, hopefully it does open soon. It's now the only ride in the park to not be operational. So fingers crossed, we do see the Sky Ride open soon. Now, as much as they didn't meet the target of May, at least they've kept us updated on the website, on the availability page. You've only got to go back a few years, and there was no such thing as an Alton Towers availability page. So I am pleased at least they've kept that, and they are keeping it updated. Now, the ride had been testing quite a bit. I know there was staff training that was going on, and also as well, there was even some staff rides that took place. So obviously something's gone wrong towards the kind of latter part of opening the Sky Ride again. There was a lot of talk, could it be weather related? Because obviously it was really warm, wasn't it, over half term, and the ride can only run safely with people in the gondolas when it's not too hot, because there's no air conditioning or anything like that in the gondolas. But then obviously that's clearly not the case now, because it's yeah, the weather's been a lot cooler the past few days and it's still closed. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but fingers crossed it's open very soon. It's the final ride now that needs to reopen here at Alton Towers in 2026, because like I say, we've had quite a few bits closed from the start of the season, haven't we? Obviously Battle Galleons, Rapids, Mine Train, Monorail, but yeah, this is the last one now. I just wanted to share an update whilst we're down here. talking about Project Horizon. Now this is something that we haven't really mentioned that much for a while because there's not really been anything happening. Now there's been rumblings the past few weeks that there's been some work happening behind the world of David Walliams. Now obviously we've got a lot of sources, a lot of contacts here at the park, and yeah, it doesn't sound like it's anything really Project Horizon related, but they've been doing some work at the back. I know some people have been hearing drilling and stuff happening down here, so if we get any more updates I will share them with you, but as far as I'm aware it's not really related to anything kicking off, any sort of construction starting on Project Horizon, which was plans for a new indoor ride, presumably a roller coaster, right down at the back next to the flag tower. And from this angle you do get a good view of the flag tower. So yeah, I can't hear or see anything happening down there at the back today, but like I say, I know there has been some noise and stuff happening down there. We also got to bear in mind this area is actually a very active part of Alton Towers still. You've got the environmental area around there, you've got like all the skips and everything like that, and also the Alton Towers ride graveyard is down there as well. Honestly, when I worked here, it's an absolute mess down there at the back. It's all hidden away from public view, but before any sort of work starts on Project Horizon, yeah, they've got a lot of stuff to clear and also infrastructure to move as well. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news on that one, but yeah, I don't expect anything from Horizon anytime soon. Now there is a small chance that what's been going on is also related to the planning documents, because they've had 3 years to start some sort of work on there, and obviously they haven't, and yeah, soon that will be expiring. So possibly they've just been doing a little bit of work down there, just to kind of say that they've started doing something, even if it's not like major construction on Horizon. So yeah, like I say, before you see anything major down there, there's got to be a lot of changes to the infrastructure, a lot of things have got to be moved to other areas of the park, and yeah, we'll certainly keep you updated here on Theme Park Worldwide if we do hear anything else. We certainly do need a big project to get excited about, but also we've seen some nice improvements over the past few weeks as well. So my biggest wish now, the one that needs to change the most, is Aramark. We need to see the food changed over. Basically a few years ago, a company called Aramark that also supply food to prisons here in the UK actually took over the food operations here at Alton Towers, and we've seen a real decline in quality of food, and also the prices have shot up as well. So hopefully that's going to change. That's what needs to change more than anything, in my opinion. And then of course we'll start thinking about other things. But so yeah, that needs to be the priority, especially now ride availability and operations has been better. That needs to be the priority before we start thinking about flat rides and other new rides. Now, like I said, I didn't get a chance to film any footage over the weekend because we were making the most of time off camera with our friends. But here's a look over at the cargo food area. Yeah, it's all been packed down now. It was here throughout half term and it was very popular, it went down really well. I know a lot of people really enjoyed it, and this wasn't ran by Aramark, this was ran by another company. The food prices were still high, but the quality was a lot better. We all ate there over the weekend and it was refreshing to have something new. They had a DJ down there, they had a couple of roaming actors as well, which was nice, it had a good vibe. I'm hoping that it comes back for the summer. I'm led to believe that they're looking at it, bringing it back in the summer if it's been a success, which I'm pretty sure it has. I mean, you've got these Aramark food units over to the right there that weren't that busy at all compared to the cargo area. So hopefully we'll see that come back for the summer, because it had a nice summer vibe, and the pineapples were good as well. It's just a beautiful setting, isn't it? And yeah, if you do get the chance during the next few weeks, best time of the year to enjoy the gardens with all the beautiful flowers down there. It always looks nice no matter what time of the year you go down, but yeah, this really is the time where all the flowers look the best. You've got the pagoda fountain down there at the bottom as well. Yeah, I spent a couple of hours down in the gardens over the weekends and it was really nice, beautiful. Right, let's talk about water rides, shall we now? Right then, Battle Galleons. This is a Mack Ride Splash Battle that opened in 2008 here at Alton Towers as part of Mutiny Bay. Of course, before that you had Splash Cart Challenge, which was an upcharge boat attraction here on the lake. And then prior to that, you had the classic swan boats. Oh, we always love the swan boats, they were brilliant. When you're driving to Alton Towers, if you keep your eyes peeled, you might spot a couple on the way as well, because they sold them all off at the time. But anyway, in 2026, this ride is operating without the majority of its water guns. Now that might sound stupid because, it's been closed up until May, and then it's open for the summer, the warmer part of the year. What's been going on? From what we've heard, again from our sources, there is some sort of major fault with the pump system here on Battle Galleon. So that has meant that they've had to do something else, as it was just going to stay closed. So basically the paid guns, whereas you've got a few here on the right, and there's also some on the other side, they are working because they're on like a separate system to the main guns themselves. So they clearly came together quite fast and came up with an idea. So what they've done, they've added more audio round, they've added smoke effects, bubbles as well. You can see a bubble machine down there on the Galleon. This certainly hasn't been done because they wanted to do it. They were kind of forced into it really because, yeah, there's an issue with the guns, with the pump system on here as well. So yeah, I'm glad that they've managed to do something. But yeah, this certainly isn't a long-term change, unless they decide not to spend the money and fix it. But we'll see what happens, won't we? It's never really that popular of a ride, only in the summer when you're getting soaked. It's like today, it's pretty warm now. It's like 19 degrees Celsius. You know, there probably would be people queuing all the way down here, but because obviously, you know, it's not really a water ride now, then yeah, it's lost a bit of its appeal. And you can see they've actually changed the signage here and stuck this over. There'll be hazy skies ahead. If the smoke and bubbles be affecting you, stay away from the shores. Yeah, that before used to say that you get wet on the ride. So yeah, this isn't Alton Towers just thinking, oh, we'll just leave the paid guns on and that's it. They've been kind of forced to do this as it was not going to stay operating. So yeah, at least we've got an operational ride again for capacity. But obviously in the long term, they're going to have to, yeah, spend some money and get it fixed. These are on the £2 a play, these ones. Yeah, other than that, it's smoke, it's bubbles, it's some new audio effects. In fact, we'll go down the queue line and have a look at it, just so we can kind of see what's going on. This is actually one of my favourite views in the park though. I do like this queue line, and the soundtrack's good as well. So yeah, all the water is off on the boats as well. There's no shooting on the boats. It's literally them guns at the end there. And of course you've got a few down at the start on the left hand side. Yeah, all the ones are off on the Galleon. In fact, you can't even access the Galleon, that's all closed off. Before, the water would fill up as it's parked up. You see this stand just here? That's where you'd see the water filling up. This is always one of my favourite little nods. 2008 there on the Canon opening year. So yeah, this doesn't look the best, you know, with temporary barriers and stuff, but yeah, this is all blocked off. I'd imagine that's just because there's some tech down there on the Galleon. The presentation's not the best for this. It's like there's just a ladder chucked at the side over there. There's Harris fencing and stuff at the side. But yeah, hopefully they can, you know, get this sorted out in the long term. But the fact they've done this now makes me think it's going to be like this for at least this year. And then obviously they're going to make a decision for its long-term future, I reckon. And what would you like to see happen to Battle Galleons? Let me know down below in the video comments. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. Would you keep it? Would you get rid of it? Would you replace it with something else? If I had to pick, I'd probably keep it with a pirate theme, but completely redo the boat, so take all the guns off and everything, and just make it a nice kind of scenic boat ride, a bit like the old swan boats used to be really. Ideally some more props and animatronics and stuff around would be good, but still, that also costs money, so we'll see what happens. But still, the updates just keep on coming here at Alton Towers. Certainly been busy the past couple of weeks with all sorts of different things happening. Next update's down here at the Congo River Rapids, and this is probably the biggest update in terms of budget because they spent quite a bit of money on new theming down here. So we're going to go and have a look. So a few years ago, they added the Land Rover down here on the Canyon Pass, which goes underneath Wickerman and connects down to Gloomy Wood. Then what they've actually done now is made a few more changes to it and added some audio. Listen to this. So it's like the car radio's on, and if you come in, you've got to say hello to Keith. There he is. You just see him there. There you go. One of the old ducks from the flume, right there. Now, of course, you can see one of the much bigger ducks from the flume that actually used to be in the tunnel. That's over in the Curse at Alton Manor as a prop. But you've now got little Keith down here. He's got his hat on and his Alton Towers name tag. So make sure you say hello to him if you're coming here to the park. I like that. Yeah, there's quite a lot of different Easter eggs around here. But yeah, you've got the Congo River Rafting Co on there. Some extra boxes that have been added. Really nice. And then also, look at this theming down here at the back. Now this is what I'm talking about. If this is the Alton Towers we're going to see moving forward, I am very happy about that. brand new theming, and this has been done to a great standard. Dare I say it, this is as good as the theming down at Poulton's Park. So this is what we need more of here at Alton Towers. Little props like this. I mean, they've got this beautiful water wheel, little boxes at the bottom with Katanga Cargo Company on, some rock work, some more boxes, and this is what you see like when you go to Disney and Universal. It's just like random props and things at the side that make a massive difference. So well done, Alton Towers. Credit where credit's due. Little things like this are fantastic, and the new theming just keeps on coming as we make our way into the queue line. So yeah, let's go and have a look round at the rapids and see all this new theming. It is really nice seeing the Congo River Rapids back in action here in Katanga Canyon. It's a brilliant rapids ride, and also it just adds so much kinetic energy to this part of the park. It's not the same when you're walking up this pathway and don't see the rapids going round. So yeah, it's really nice just to see it back open again. And we're going to go and have a ride because there's lots of new theming to see down in the queue line. Yeah, they must have spent quite a bit on new theming, and we wasn't expecting that. Bit of a weird one with the waterfalls because they were on at the weekend, then they were off, then they were back on, and now they're off again. So I'm not too sure what's going on with the waterfalls. I'm thinking, oh, here's the monorail. Hey! You bought a little wine on YouTube. No vinyls, brilliant. Yeah, I'm thinking it could be staffing related because if they don't have the waterfalls on, I don't think they need a member of staff there. So obviously they have to have staff like legally around the ride. Oh, monorail. Look at that, so good. Yeah, we're just going to see if that staff member's there, but I don't think they will be. So I think that's probably what it's related to. Here we go. Yeah, I reckon it's staff related. So obviously, normally have a staff member stood here when the waterfalls are on. So obviously, yeah, they can save a member of staff not having them on, which, you know, is a shame because it is a really good effect. But at least the rapids are back open. Again, came on here over the weekend and they were riding really good. We got quite wet actually. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good one today for it. It's nice and warm now, you know. This weather at the moment can't make up its mind these past few days. I'm sweating now. I'm glad I got my shorts on. Bum, bum, hey. So firstly, the entrance sign has been completely refreshed. They actually took all the letters off, did all the backdrop and everything. So yeah, it wasn't just a quick paint job, did a really good job of that. And as soon as we come down into the queue line, all this new theming over here on the left, like this is great. Big new sign, so it says Old Mine at the top, Canyon Falls, River Rafting, Lookout, Katanga Cargo Company and Base Camp. And there's also quite a few props down there at the bottom, including that snake just over there as well. Brilliant. Little things like this go a long way. Fantastic theming. It looks very similar to that of like Tornado Springs at Poulton's Park. I wonder if it was done by the Leisure Expert Group or not. Love theming, it always makes the experience, so nice to see new bits coming in like that. But it doesn't end there. Let's go and have a look at all this round at the top. Still one of my favourite queue lines at Alton Towers as well, especially views of Wickerman that you get from here. Yeah, when the train comes through the structure, always looks really good from this angle. And yeah, just walking around the reservoir that runs in the middle of the ride, very scenic. Yeah, it had some big queues throughout May half term. I saw it on 50 minutes at one point, about 5 today. And there's some more little props down here at the side. So we've got a little well down here. And all the audio and everything is great. The audio came in a few years ago because before this was silent really. Great. And look at all this. This is Base Camp. So that's why the sign points up this way. This is Base Camp itself. The River Rafting Supplies, the little shop. Making use of that pole for the Wi-Fi router. On to Base Camp. Got the stove going, better than the Aramark food. And little tents down here as well. I hope nobody decides to camp in there for the night. We've got some fragile cargo coming down here. More bits at the side. Days since last snake sighting. 0. Oh dear, I think I've seen a snake. He's down there in the queue. Sid the snake. Out rafting, back in 5 minutes, Keith. Love all the little bits like that. It makes a massive difference. You need to go around all the areas of the park and just add little details like this. It's great. Like, you compare this side of the park to the other side now, and there's a huge difference. I wonder if that's intentional or not. It's like, you know, you come up through Katanga Canyon, all these new props, a good themed area anyway that's been made even better. And then, of course, Gloomy Wood that was only redone a few years ago. And then Forbidden Valley that was also done a couple of years ago. So this whole side of the park's great. Then you compare it to X Sector and Dark Forest, like they look terrible compared to this side. And the new props just keep on coming. There's some down here as well. If we can see them from this angle. There you go. I'll get a better shot when we go around the corner. Place of mine, seated. Sound like Bluey's dad. And yeah, there's them other props around there at the side that we saw before. A few more props down at the side here as well. We've got a chair there. Let's go and ride. So to zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. Katanga Cargo Company imports, yeah, all the parts and theming that they've added over there as well. Fantastic.
Please remain seated.
Well, I think it's very clear that the Congo River Rapids aren't going anywhere anytime soon. They've spent a lot of money on that attraction over the past few years, starting off a few years ago with the Land Rover and then all the speakers that they added around, because the speakers like every few metres around the ride, that must have cost thousands and thousands of pounds to put in. And then along with that, all the new theming that's been added for this year as well. The Rapids are in a great shape, got pretty wet on there actually, and also the grand return of the KFC Mega Wave. It was good to have that back, and I really enjoyed getting on there, looking really fresh, got pretty wet on there, and everyone's having a great time. That's what the Rapids are all about. Something else that I did notice is that they've also added some like cave carvings on the wall down here. I think we'll get a view of them from this angle. There we go, if we have a little zoom in down there. Yeah, you can just make them out. They're on both sides of the tunnel. There you go, zoom in a bit more for you. Just like some white cave markings that look pretty good actually. And it's always nice when you get the interactions with the Runaway Mine Train. Yeah, it's always made that ride. Choo choo. Another nice little touch that I noticed on the Rapids when I was getting off, didn't see it when I was getting on, but yeah, when I got off the ride, you have got like the ride mechanics, haven't you, at the side there, like for the motors and stuff. They put like some themed covering over. One's like a barrel and the other's like a wooden chest what they've put on. And yeah, little things like that. So that ride's not going anywhere anytime soon. I know that Merlin have closed, you know, quite a lot of water rides at their parks over the years. And most recently, of course, Viking River Splash at Legoland, Rumba Rapids at Thorpe Park. You know, we've seen them all close. But yeah, this isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Little trip past the Wardley estate agents. Still for sale, Alton Manor, if you want to buy it. I wish. Well, there we go. Just time for a quick ride on Nemesis before I head home. I tell you what, I do love having Alton Towers as the local park, and it's great travelling to theme parks all around the world. Of course, we've just been over in Norway and Finland, had an amazing time. But I always look forward to coming back and having a walk around and getting the updates, especially when there's a lot more positive things to talk about, because I am very much a positive person. I don't like negativity and, you know, talking about something that I've loved so much over the years in a bad way. But also, this channel for 14 whole years has been very honest, very transparent. I'm certainly not going to change that. And when things aren't right, I like to talk about it and call them out. But when things are also very good and going in a better direction, I like to mention that too. That's what we're all about on the channel. We'll say it how it is. Back down here in the Nemesis containment zone, I can hear the squeaks of Toxicator already, and that's the final update that I want to talk about today after I had a quick ride on the Beast. You didn't think I was going to come to Alton Towers and not have a ride on Nemesis, did you? Now this is a really exciting update and one that I'm really happy about, and that's the fact that Toxicator now has 2 more cycles. So since the ride opened in March last year, it was running just one setting, and that was Alpha. Now you've also got Beta and Gamma as well, which is fantastic to see. So yeah, I'm not too sure which one we're going to see in action here now, but we'll get some footage of it. So yeah, 3 different cycles here on Toxicator, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see if more come in the future. Here we go, what we getting?
Initiating program
Beta, here we go. So it all depends on the queue length. It's walk on at the moment. So we're getting Beta. So yeah, these cycles have been running for about a week and a half now. It's good because you just don't know what you're going to get now. All depends on the queue length and the operator. What I have noticed though with these 2 new cycles, there's less kind of hanging over where the fountains were before. As I mentioned, unfortunately the fountains have had to be turned off. Hopefully they'll come back at some point in the future.
charging power levels.
Nice, look at all them flips. Oh, wow, that was a good hang. I think it all depends on the weight as well on the gondola, so if you get that extra flip or not. I tell you what, it's a long cycle, it just keeps going. This is what you want. And yeah, they put some effort in because they'll have to change the audio as well, like to make it in sync. Maximum force, this is a really long one, this is what you want, Beta. Wow. This is like Ripsaw's old cycle. I think it was number 5 on Ripsaw that was always the best one. Look at that, they're going for it. That's it, wow. Really good, yeah, it's because it's quiet, you see. Excellent. Another well done Alton Towers. Just get these fountains back on now. It feels so weird just seeing people sat there on the monorail again after all these years. We can see them and they can see out, brilliant. Well, there we go. It has been so nice coming back from our trip to Norway and Finland to our home park, Alton Towers, and having so many positive updates to talk about. Genuinely, I'm really impressed with everything that's happened over the past few weeks. Everything from the new cycles on Toxicator, to the vinyls coming off the monorail, to new theming on the Rapids, to most importantly, improved ride availability and operations. Over the past few years, I don't know what's been going on, especially on a morning, we're really struggling to get rides open. And I know that there's a lot what goes into maintaining rides and keeping them going, but seeing 6 or 7, sometimes more rides closed at the start of the day, not just for a few minutes, but for like a couple of hours sometimes, you know, it was a big red flag for me. I was like, what is going on? What is happening? Things have got a lot better this year, and especially over the past few weeks with the later hours as well. Things like having, you know, the little roaming street theatre that they've had by the new cargo food area in May half term. All these little things add up and make it a much more positive experience. From looking at our comments on social media, a lot of people feel the same, and of course there's a long way to go. We're not saying that Alton Towers is back to its golden era again, but things are certainly going in the right direction, and they're better than they have been for a few years. And you know, I like to think that maybe our videos make a bit of a difference. I know a lot of the management here do watch them, and hopefully maybe it's gave people a bit of an oomph to think, you know what, this place has got so much potential, we all love it, we all want to see it do well and thrive. So fingers crossed that's made a bit of an impact. I really do hope so. Like I say, we always like to say it how it is on the channel. We'll always keep it like like that. We always have done and we always will. And, you know, ultimately, we want to come to these theme parks and have a good time and have a positive experience, but also it's about keeping it fair and honest. But no, I'm really impressed with Alton Towers today, going in the right direction, and I look forward to, future updates over summer. We're heading away at the weekend on a big trip for a couple of weeks, and of course when we're back I will do a full park vlog. It's going to be like the busiest time with the school trips and stuff, so I'll have a look at that and see how it's doing in terms of operations when it's really busy for the school trip season. That's going to be a really good test to see how things are going with the busier crowds here at Alton Towers. But let me know your thoughts. Have you been over the past few weeks? Do you feel the same as I do? Certainly things feel a lot more positive. We're going in the right direction here at Alton Towers. Well, that leaves me one final thing to say. Get out there and keep on riding. See you in tomorrow's video.